Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Borzumato-Greenberg, Vice President of Marketing and Publicity, and I am delighted to share with you some of our spring and early summer books from Holiday House and our new sister company, Pixel+Ink. Moose, Goose, and Mouse is by Caldecott medalist and children's book creator extraordinaire Mordecai Gerstein and Jeff Mack. And I'm pleased to announce that the book has received our first star of the new year from Kirkus Reviews, which calls it madcap humor at its finest. When Mordecai passed away in late 2019, he left us one final book, which Jeff Mack helped him finish coloring. Young readers are going to love this delightful, funny romp about three friends who venture in the rain on a train to look for a new house. This Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection, Moose, Goose, and Mouse, is the culmination of the humor, wit, and joy that Mordecai brought to all of his books. You will really love it. Fans of In My Garden's Philip Stead and Hello Neighbors Matt Cordell's previous collaborations, Special Delivery and The Only Fish in the Sea, are in for a wild ride. Their new title, Follow That Frog, a JLG Gold Standard selection, sees the return of the intrepid Sadie, heroine of the two previous books, listening at her as her deeply eccentric and equally intrepid Aunt Josephine, as she recounts the story of her time cataloging amphibians in the jungles of Peru and her globe-trotting pursuit of a giant man-eating frog over many, many years. It all goes along at breakneck speed, culminating in a knockout image and an ending that will have readers chortling. Award-winning author Andrea Wang and Jason Chin, winner of a Caldecott and Cybert honor for Grand Canyon, a Boston Globe Hornbook honor for 9 months, and creator of the recent Your Place in the Universe, have collaborated to bring us Watercress, a moving own voice autobiographical story of a child of Chinese immigrants connecting with her heritage, with meltingly beautiful artwork inspired by Chinese brushwork by Jason Chin in his fiction picture book debut. This is a JLG Gold Standard selection. Reem Faruqi and Famida Azim are both exciting new talents who illuminate the Muslim experience in America. Ramadan has come to an end, and Amira can't wait to stay home from school to celebrate Eid and all the festivities. There's just one hiccup. It's also school picture day. How can Amira be in two places at once? A last-minute idea on the car ride home from the mosque might just provide the solution to young Amira's dilemma. Sunday Funday in Koreatown is the third book that Aram Kim has written about Yumi and her family. In this story, Yumi has her perfect day with Dad in Koreatown, all planned out. But she soon learns that they can figure out how to change plans when things don't go their way. And Yumi's imperfect day is better than she ever could have imagined. This JLG Gold Standard selection celebrates family, resilience, and Korean culture, and a family recipe for kimbap is included. In Lucas Makes a Comeback, an Own Voices picture book by Igor Fall, the lion Lucas, disabled from a fall and who loses the use of his legs, finds that with hard work, determination, and the love and help of family and friends, he can play sports, resume his teaching job, and live independently again. Also coming later in the year, in time for the 2021 Paralympics in August, is Lucas at the Paralympics, in which Lucas learns about the most determined athletes of all. Stephen Savage's new book, And Then Cape Hope, has its origins in the current health crisis, but its message of comfort and hope is universal and will appeal to all children and anyone who loves boats. The book will be published simultaneously in hardcover and board book and comes with a terrific blurb from Chelsea Clinton, a wonderfully sweet story of kindness and how we can all work together. Sarah Huang brings us a deliciously funny story about Toasty, a piece of bread who wants to be a dog until he realizes he can be a perfect pet just the way he is. Sarah's inspiration for Toasty came from her childhood experience as an immigrant and her discovery that you find your best friends when you're willing to just be yourself. Her playful art for Toasty came to mind when she saw a piece of toast that reminded her of the way she used to draw dogs as a child. This book is great for fans of Arnie the Donut by Laurie Keller. The Girl in Tuesday is Daddy's Day has 2 rooms, one at Mommy's house and one at Daddy's apartment, which he shares with his partner, Henry. All that's lacking is a puppy. Tuesday is Daddy's Day is a reminder that family comes in many forms, but always comes with love. In this book, best-selling author-illustrator Elliot Kreloff writes from the heart. As the story is based upon his own family, the little girl is modeled after his daughter, a girl with a gay dad and an Hispanic mom. Readers looking for a fresh take on a classic Passover story need look no further. Longtime synagogue librarian Susan Cassell's debut picture book, The Passover Guest, illustrated by noted graphic novelist Sean Rubin, breathes new life into the popular I.L. Peretz story best known through Uri Shulovitz's 1973 adaptation, The Magician. Here, the setting is Washington, D.C. in the midst of the Great Depression, and the story has strong parallels with what many are experiencing at the moment. Next, we move on to some nonfiction selections. Kate Slight is a picture book biography about one of the first women on the Eastern Seaboard to be put in charge of an offshore lighthouse. Kate Walker at Robbins Reef Lighthouse. This JLG Gold Standard selection is written by Elizabeth Spires and illustrated by Caldecott medalist Emily Arnold McCulley. With watercolor and ink illustrations which perfectly capture the salty spray of the sea, Kate Slight is an immigrant story that brings the turn of the century New York Harbor to life, with a focus on one of its little known but most crucial attendants. There is extensive additional material in the back of the book, and this pairs beautifully with Sophie Blackwell's Caldecott winning Hello, Lighthouse. Two-time Geisel honoree Paul Meisel continues his lauded Nature Diary series with a diary of the tiny but fascinating ruby-throated hummingbird in My Tiny Life by Ruby T. Hummingbird. Children will love poring over the bright, highly detailed illustrations and pondering ideas about nature. The book includes a glossary and further information in the back. Both art and text have been vetted for accuracy by an expert. We have new and updated editions of 4 of Gail Gibbons' amazing nonfiction works for young readers. If you haven't already visited gailgibbonsbooks.com, please do so for a next generation science standard guide plus lots of lesson plans. And you can search all her books by the 4 next generation domains, as well as a range of subjects. We also want to point out the just published 80th anniversary edition of The Blind Colt by Glenn Rounds, who grew up in the Dakota Badlands and drew from details from his own life on a ranch to depict one little colt's struggle to make it through the winter. This one is a true classic. Now we're moving on to our I Like to Read early readers. Our next 2 books in the award-winning series are Cat Likes Red by Christopher Russo, a level C book, and Ferry Boat by Michael Garland, a level F. We are super excited about the upcoming launch of our new I Like to Read comics line with titles in the 6x9 size with paper overboard covers. The first 2 books are A Giant Mess by award-winning artist Jeff Ebler and Spring Cakes by Cartoon Network veteran Miranda Harmon. These first comics by emerging graphic novelists are especially designed to help make learning to read a whole lot more fun. Librarians, teachers, parents, and especially kids have embraced comics. We'll publish 2 more comics in the new series soon after these. The first book in the graphic novel series, The Postman from Space, received a starred review from Shelf Awareness, and it's a JLG Gold Standard selection. Now, our favorite postman, poor old Bob, is back in book 2, Biker Bandits. He's Employee of the Month, but he's got all sorts of new interplanetary challenges. Starting off our middle grade selections, we have A Place to Hang the Moon. This is a debut from Kate Albus and a JLG Gold Standard selection. A Place to Hang the Moon is about 3 orphaned siblings during World War II who hope to find a forever home when they're evacuated from London to the countryside. This is perfect for fans of The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Bradley. We have a wonderful advanced quote from 2-time Newbery Honor author Patricia Riley Giff that concludes with, "The story is unforgettable, beautifully told." We are delighted to welcome Dan Gutman, the award-winning author of several series, including My Weird School and The Genius Files, to the Holiday House list. Dan's standalone novel, Houdini and Me, follows 5th grader Harry Mancini, who is not Harry Houdini, the famous escape artist who died in 1926. But Harry does live in Houdini's old New York City home, and he definitely knows everything there is to know about Houdini's life. What is he supposed to do then when someone starts texting him, claiming that they're Houdini, communicating from beyond the grave? Well, respond, of course. And when Houdini asks for help in coming back to life, it seems like an amazing chance. Or could it be Houdini's greatest trick of all? We're also thrilled to welcome the masterful Ian Lawrence to the Holiday House list. In Dead Man's Castle, Igor and his family are on the run from a man bent on revenge, and there's danger lurking around every corner. This is perfect for young readers with a taste for mystery and adventure. It's also a JLG Gold Standard selection. In 6 Feet Below Zero by Ina Jones, siblings need to convince everyone that their deceased great-Grammy is still alive as part of an elaborate plan she devised so they can hold on to her property when she's gone. This is part Weekend at Bernie's and part Little Miss Sunshine. And I'm not going to talk about the freezer in the basement, but I guess I did just mention it. In Daughter of the White Rose by Diane Zoller, can a common girl save a prince trapped in the Tower of London? Well, it's April, England, 1483. And in this girl-led medieval story of murder, betrayal, resilience, and growing up, readers get up close and personal with one of the history's nastiest villains, Richard II. Based on the real royal scandal of the princes in the Tower, this JLG Gold Standard selection is for anyone who loves historical novels like Catherine Cole Birdie or The Book of Boy. We're pleased to introduce a brand new series on the Holiday House list, The Spyglass Sisterhood by Marilyn Kay, whose replica series was an international bestseller. This series centers on 4 12-year-old girls and mixes classic themes with fresh conversations on justice, solidarity, and inclusivity, along with some light magic in the form of a magical spyglass. Ellie makes her move as the first book, and each girl will take a turn at the spyglass, confronting fears and sticking up for her peers. On to young adult. Charlie Vega is a lot of things. Smart, funny, artistic, fat. People tend to have a problem with that last one. It seems like everyone wants her to be something she isn't. Smaller, quieter, whiter. But when a cute guy asks her out, her life suddenly becomes a rom-com until she learns she was his second choice. Will she ever be loved for who she is? Fat Chance Charlie Vega is a funny and painfully accurate coming-of-age Latinx own voices story by debut author Crystal Maldonado. It's a great mirrors and windows novel that tackles the often underrepresented issues of body positivity and biracial identity. Crystal is so funny and personable, and you'll love her new book. You know Caitlin Detweiler from her undoing of Thistle Tate. Her newest YA is People, the People We Choose. When Calliope Silversmith meets her new neighbor Max, their chemistry is instantaneous. but the revelation that her sperm donor father is also Max's father throws her life into disarray until she finds a way to bridge her family with Max's. Now we move on to our new sister company. First, I'd like to tell you a little about Pixel+Ink. This new house publishes only fiction series, picture books, chapter books, middle grade, and graphic novels. It is headed by editor-in-chief Bethany Buck, and the books are developed specifically to have cross-media potential. And now, on to the books. Make way for Beatrice Bly. Beatrice Bly's Rules for Spies is a new picture book series about a sassy little spy who loves listicles. In The Missing Hamster, here she is on the case. Smart, independent, and problem-solving sums up Super Spy B. Plus, there are awesome gadgets in the book. Popular author Sue Fleiss and newcomer illustrator Beth Mills are a perfect pairing for this fresh new series. Next up are illustrated chapter books. School library journal called Toy Store Trouble, book 2 in the Twig and Turtle series, a delightful installment that touches on creativity, friendship, and expansive understandings of gender. Highly recommended for all public and school collections. Sisters Twig and Turtle and their tiny house family are back. In book 3, the family is working together to respect everyone's space when Twig is involved in a readathon. And in the 4th book, the wonderful relationship between the girls and their modern grandmother really shines. With her armband tattoo and a stinky yoga mat, Grandma comes for a visit and totally takes over the tiny house. We hope you'll really love these books full of heart, good spirit, and fun. More hilarious antics, more fast food, and more zany monsters combine in a treat that middle grade graphic novel readers will devour in the 2nd installment of the CARLTON CRUMPLE Creature Catcher series, Tater Invaders. This is for fans of Lunch Lady and Dog Man who are looking for a little older read. Kirkus Review said about the 1st book, those who want their humor to have a fast and furious velocity should be right at home here. Author-artist David Fremont has worked on many famous TV shows from Nickelodeon, as well as Cartoon Network and Disney, and now he has turned his talents to books for middle graders. Such fun! Black Sand Beach, Are You Afraid of the Light, launched a graphic novel series about a haunted summer vacation this past year. It was created by the best-selling and award-winning comic book and picture book author-illustrator Richard Fairgray. So that you're up to speed, in book 1, 12-year-old Dash and his best friend Lily are spending the summer at Black Sand Beach, where Dash's family has a house. But nothing is as it seems from the beginning. The beach house is a shack and Dash's weird relatives are there. But more alarming is the zombie ram that crashes through the front yard and the ghosts that call out to Dash from the lighthouse. Now in book 2, a revelation about how Dash may or may not have spent the summer before raises the stakes even higher in this enthralling series, perfect for fans of Gravity Falls, Rickety Stitch, and Fake Blood. Each book in this dynamic series contains full-color graphic novel panels on every page and multiple connected stories. One of the interesting facts, too, is Black Sand Beach happens to be a real place in Australia where Richard used to go as a child. You and your young readers who love mysteries, horror, or just plain eerie stories will love this series. Be sure, too, to check out Tales from Black Sand Beach, the podcast inspired by the books. Richard is a wonderful storyteller, and I think you'll really enjoy listening to him. Now we have some middle grade fiction from Pixel+Ink. When Life Gives You Lemons, Make Peach Pie is the first in the Great Peach Experiment series by Erin Downing, coming this spring. Mix together a used food truck, a road trip that doesn't exactly go as planned, and a lot of pie, and you have the recipe for this sweet middle grade series starter, brimming with humor, heart, and a family you'll fall in love with. This is perfect for readers who gobble down the Penderwicks and the Vanderbeeks of 141st Street. We hope that you enjoyed these features today, and we invite you to visit us online at holidayhouse.com, where you can find more titles from board books on up to graphic novels and YAs, along with many guides, educators' guides, readers' guides, and activity sheets to share with your readers. Be sure to sign up for our e-newsletter as well, so that you'll hear about our newest books and you'll see some great videos from our amazing authors. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Please feel free to be in touch, and I hope to see you in person soon. Bye now.